Good morning, this is Dr. Kathy, and today we are going to be working on an encodement intensive to help us resolve, I'm going to call it the resistance we have to other people in disagreements or at the extreme level in conflict. And we're going to begin, as we always begin, by moving into our heart source. So what I'd like for you to do, those of you who are familiar with the heart source and have worked with the heart source, simply say heart source. And those of you who are new to the heart source, I'll guide you very quickly through it. Move into the front of your heart center, right there in the middle of your chest, and allow yourself to go deep within. Now move into the back of your heart center, your heart chakra, which is the opposite of the front of your heart. And again, move deep within. Now this is a special place. Go as deep as you can. You'll feel yourself getting a little breakthrough. I call it a breakthrough of going into the sacred space. Now move into the front of your third eye, going deep within. And into the back of your third eye, going deep within. You're now in 4 different dimensions. Let's put you in more. I want you to connect your heart center with your third eye with a beam of energy just going straight up. And send that beam of energy straight up to the center of the universe. And don't worry where that is. Good. And now send that straight down to the center of the earth. Great. Now we're going to connect with your healing team. Everybody has a healing team. Some of you have met them very personally, and others just know that you have your healing team right here. Ask your healing team to use what is known as the basic plug-in, the as is known as for you, but to use the basic plug-in to heal and balance anything that is interfering with you being fully within your heart source. Now ask them to use the shadow removal plug-in to remove, heal, and balance anything interfering with you being fully in your heart source. Now we're going to create our healing lecture room where we are all gathered together. And when I say that we're all gathered together, I'm talking about everyone who hears, reads, listens to this encodement intensive, no matter when you hear, read, or listen to it. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be in 20 years from now, because there is no time and we are all together. So just give yourself that opportunity to be open to experience the connection that you have with each other as everyone is gathered here together. And now there is a floor of light below us, a canopy of light above us, and there are pillars of light in each corner. And within each pillar of light, and this comes from work with St. Michael, I call him St. Michael from my Catholicism, but the Archangel Michael's sword, there is an infinity sign going vertically from top to bottom in each pillar of light. And that infinity symbol is moving and circulating. And there may be times it changes colors. Some of you may actually see the double helix DNA within that. Now we're surrounding the room from pillar to pillar to pillar to pillar with angels from Archangel Michael's band and Archangel Raphael's band. There is also a pillar of light in the very center of the room. It also has the infinity symbol in that pillar, and joining in that pillar, it's a very large pillar, are many people from the other side coming in, all ascended masters, archangels, wonderful, wonderful beings of love. You may invite anybody there to join you to come into that pillar of love, right there in the center of the room. Except your angels and guides, because they're going to be with you in a special place. Now send a beam of energy from your heart to the central pillar. And feel that connection and the energies just surging through you as that happens. Now we're going to provide a sense of, while we're still connected, but a sense of energetic privacy. So your healing team and your guides and angels and your soul self are constructing for you your own energetic healing room. It's established around you. Now you may image it in a different way than I do. When I image it, I see it as a transparent room, which is symbolic of still being connected one to another and allows us to experience our personal healing without the interference from the energy produced by others in their particular healing. Now let's ask your healing team to use the basic plug-in to remove and balance anything that is interfering with you being fully in your healing and lecture room. And now ask them to use the shadow removal plug-in to remove, heal, and balance anything else preventing you from being fully in the healing and lecture room. Good. You may see me nod at times, and that's when I feel the energy shifting and knowing that it's complete at that time. Okay, we're now going to hear from Amma. Many times I channel the message beforehand, but this time I was guided to channel the message afterward. I mean, right now, not afterwards, right now. So I'm going to ask you to please connect with me also from your heart to my heart. As I bring in the energy of Amma, the Divine Mother of the Divine Mothers. And what a wonderful day it is, my dear ones. And yes, I am Amma. I am your mother. Yes, I am the mother of the Divine Mothers. More importantly, I am your mother. You grew within my womb, and you are still within my womb, in the safety of my womb. Even when you at times don't feel very safe, you are still in the safety of my womb. We've been having some wonderful experiences in these encodement intensives, haven't we? This particular intensive is building upon the intensives of the first two of this particular year of 2017. You have experienced balancing for your empathic sensitivities, and you have experienced balancing in regards to anxiety. Now you're going to work with balancing your physical, emotional, and energetic bodies in regards to how you handle conflict. Now in the discussion time just before this encodement intensive began, one of the members said, are we going to work with conflict with ourselves? And this one I speak through said, I forgot all about that. I want to elaborate on that a bit, and I know that most of you know this, but it is always good to be reminded again of that. Whenever you have disagreement or conflict with another person in another human body, you are having disagreement and conflict with yourself. That is what oneness is all about, is that you are one. You can take a tree and you can cut off a branch, And even if that branch needed to be pruned, it is still taking away from the oneness of that tree. The difference here is that your separation from each other by different physical bodies never takes away from the oneness with each other. Now, yes, I know that you were talking about the conflict you have within yourself. When you're having an argument with yourself, when you're wondering what it is you are to do now, when you are wondering if you're correct or how to handle conflict with other people. So we will have some additional healing links, as this one likes to call it, healing links, to bring balance to that within yourself. Let's talk about conflict, though, and the role that it plays in your life as a human being in this incarnation, and actually in any incarnation anywhere. Conflict, or disagreement, in its simpler form, disagreement, is about coming face to face with people who do not think and believe in the same way that you do. It is also about an opportunity for you to either expand into a realization of what others consider and think and do, or as, let's call it a pop quiz, for you to realize what it is you believe. For instance, let's say that someone comes to you and says, look, somebody forgot to lock the door on that store. Let's go into that door and let's take the things that it is that would be nice for us to have. You have an opportunity at that conflict to decide what it is that you would like to believe and where your moral compass is, if you would. That's the opportunity you have. You also have the opportunity to see that within you is also that desire to have things that are not necessarily yours to have. In the oneness, you will experience wanting to have that which you do not have, wanting to have that which you do not want, and you will also experience being who it is you do not wish to be. Consider this. How many times have you done something in your life? It could be small, it could be large, or not done something is another way of looking at it, that you regret. You may even be embarrassed about it, or feel shame about it, or feel guilt. If someone only knew you in that instant, they would not know who you truly were. Consider that event right now. Everyone has one. Now, I'm going to ask your healing teams to use the basic plug-in to balance and heal that event you are bringing to your memory. I am going to ask them, I am asking them, to use the basic plug-in to heal and balance the effect it has had upon you each time you have recalled it. And I am now asking your healing team to use the shadow removal plug-in to remove the effects of the feelings that you experienced from either doing that event, that action, or not doing what it is that you believe you should have done. Remember that a person is not who they are in that action. And it actually does not matter if they have done that action many times. They have the potential of someone who will do that action. They have the potential of someone who has that pattern of behavior. That does not mean that is the essence and the totality of who it is that they are. When you come into conflict with someone, you are coming into the conflict of who it is they are at that moment, not the essence, the love incarnateness, if you will, of who it is that they are. When you do something that you are later ashamed of or feel guilty about, or you do not do that which you believe you should have done, that is not the essence of who it is you are. The regret that you have, even if you do something many times and you regret it each time, the regret that you have lets you know that you are not that person who does that which you struggle with. You are love incarnate. Every person around you is love incarnate. You were each created from the love that is the creative force of this universe, of this galaxy, of everything. That will never change. There will be those times when you act in a manner contrary to love, when you expose to the world and to yourself that which is not love, that which is contrary to love. And then you, as a spiritual being, through your regret, through your guilt, through your shame, come back to center and work to be the person you truly want to be. When you experience conflict with another, and when you experience conflict within yourself, you have emotional reactions to that. You have feelings which come up within you. They could be feelings of anger, of fear, of jealousy, of envy, of disbelief that someone could be that way. There could be guilt or shame. If it happens in a family member, you might feel guilt or shame. If it's a way a family member is responding, you might actually feel betrayed by that individual. That is where you use the basic plug-in to bring healing to that. Remember, the basic plug-in includes the soul healing prayer, which gathers together that which you sent away during the event and cleans and repairs and heals it and then fully integrates it back into yourself. And just like a bone heals from a break and is stronger at the place of the break, you become stronger when those parts of yourself, that's a metaphor, parts of yourself come back to you. And within the basic plug-in is the use of encodements to repair your energy field. The encodements, the smallest particles of your energy field, to repair those encodements, no matter where they are, in your physical body, in your energetic body, in the chakras or the meridians or your aura. And then what also happens in the physical body, because this is the amazing way your body has been created, is that you then need to bring your body into balance. Because as soon as you feel, as soon as you think and have feelings from your thoughts, your body responds with hormones, with chemicals. When you are in fear, it shuts down your digestion because it needs to have energy to address the fear. Shuts down your immune system because there cannot be any extraneous energy so that your body can address the fear, so that you may physically live. What I would like you to realize about disagreement and conflict is that no matter who the disagreement or conflict is with, you are having revealed to you an aspect of yourself. Go look for that within yourself. It may not be as big as that other individual that you are conflicting with or disagreeing with, but there is something about it that is a metaphor for your own life. If your conflict is about a political stance that someone is taking, where does that conflict come within you? Where is the disagreement within you? What is it that you fear? Conflict only comes when you have an emotional charge upon the issue. So if you have an emotional charge upon people littering, you're going to see litter no matter where that litter is. When you see someone who tosses their cigarette out of their car window, you may be like one person who was at a stop sign or at a stoplight and got out of her car, picked it up and handed it to the person and said, "I think you dropped something." Because that is a trigger for her. However, you may not have litter as a trigger. You may have abuse as a trigger. You may have addiction as a trigger. You may have unfairness or injustice as a trigger. Find where those triggers are with you, within you, and use the basic plug-in to heal the wounds which bring about that trigger. Why? Because, my dear ones, the world is unfolding exactly as it is to be. Accept that this is happening. When you are in deep anger and conflict, you cannot accept and then move forward in your strategy. Acceptance is not, my precious ones, acceptance is not doing anything. Acceptance is not apathy about what is happening within the world. Acceptance is about being able to see the reality in the illusion about what is happening in the world and deciding how you best can handle that. It doesn't matter if your decision is to confront someone face to face, to write a note, to bring a lawsuit, to hit them in the chin. If you're defending yourself, it doesn't matter what your action is doing, but you do it from the stability of who it is that you are. This is an amazing world, this three-dimensional world that you are living in. And as you are elevating into the fifth dimension, as you are exploring how it is do you handle conflict, disagreements as a spiritual person. Handling those conflicts and disagreements is not about apathy. It is how to move forward in the deepness of yourself. You will find very few, if any, spiritual people who will not attempt to defend themselves with their fists, with a board, with a gun, if someone is coming to attack them or someone they love dearly. There is nothing morally wrong with responding in that way, if that is your only option. What if your option, however, is to reason? If somebody is getting ready to shoot you, it's very difficult to reason with them, is it not? But if you do not have a gun, that is your only way out. These are the complexities that you were encountering in this world of yours. How do you respond from a place of love, even when somebody else may look at your response and say that is not a place of love? Another example. Someone that you love has come to you many times and asked for financial support, and you have given it to them many times. And finally, for their well-being and for yours as well, you say, no, no more. I will not give you that money, that place, that whatever anymore, because I am enabling you to be where you are and who you are. And you have so much more to be. I do not want to hold you back. Other people may look at your action and think how cruel, or that is not how you should do it. You must respond from the deepness of your heart with what it is that you know to do. And this, my precious ones, is how you resolve the conflict within yourself, is to go into the deepness of your heart, to go into that sacred space that you enter through the back of your heart center, and resolve for yourself what is the truth for you in this lifetime. May I tell you that the truth for you in this lifetime may show itself differently than the truth for you in another lifetime. For conflict within yourself, forgive yourself. Have no judgment in the sense of carrying it over and being harsh on what you have done or not done, except for, would I like to continue that, or would I like to not continue that? Something to reflect upon. You may want to listen to this message several times, because there is much packed into these words. Now, my precious ones, it is time for you to balance what the effects are of conflict and disagreement, and enjoy. Enjoy. Now, I'm going to give this one some additional instructions, because one of you asked before this was starting to be recorded, you asked, well, will Amma give us a chance to answer questions? Well, I'm not going to do that, but what I would like to do is, if you believe this one and I have missed something you would like specifically addressed, please say that at the end, and we will do balancing in that area. So, my precious ones, I now extend my love to you, and I am holding my hands over you, filling with love, asking only that you allow that love to come into you. My blessings to you. Well, this is Kathy back, and I can tell you that that was just beautiful. I am going to listen to that several times because I'm not always fully there when Amma is speaking through me. So we're going to begin the encodement intensive, and I would like to just let you know that as many times as I've had the computer worked on, they still haven't been able to resolve the automatic shutting down. So if I suddenly disappear, don't worry, I'll be back. Just signal me to be sure and turn the recording back on, okay? So here we go. And this is the work that I did last night. And so some of this is actually a repetition of what Amma has said. So there are levels to conflict. Some people are more sensitive to conflict and view what some call minor disagreements as major conflict. And each one of us, you, me, are the ones who get to define what is conflict and what is not for ourselves. And as a basis, let's say that conflict is a disagreement which causes you pain. There are those who love to debate the fine points of conversation, and there are others who run away from those kinds of debates. So those who love to debate, they may not see that as conflict, whereas you, who doesn't like it, may see that as conflict. And that has an effect upon you and your energy field. It's how you view it. So the previous two encodement intensives of this year were about resolving anxiety and balancing the energy of empaths. And this intensive on balancing reactions to conflict, they dovetail nicely with the two previous intensives. Conflict, or the fear of conflict, can play a role in anxiety. If you are an empath, and my guess is most of you are empaths to some extent, you will be able to feel the energetic response to conflict quickly and more intensely than those who are not empaths. Because you'll be able to feel the energy of conflict that is around you from other people that are right there. Now, you don't have to have attended the previous two encodement intensives to benefit from this. This particular intensive will, however, build upon the other two. Now, depending upon how you personally view the situation, your body will have a response to the stress of this disagreement, the milder form of conflict, and conflict itself, the more extreme form of disagreement. So I'd like you to set your intention. And go ahead and include in that intention, as someone had said before we began, the openness to receiving the healing. Okay, are you ready? Let's tell our healing teams to go to the point in time where you began to anticipate or know there will be a disagreement or conflict. Now, this doesn't have to be a particular instance. We usually all react the same. Let me change that. It's not that we all react the same way. It's that as a person, I react the same way when I know that there is going to be conflict or disagreement. And you react in your way and how you know there is going to be conflict and disagreement. So we're asking your healing team to go to that point in your life, in my life, to where you begin to anticipate or know there will be disagreement or conflict. And now let's ask them to do the following. Please implement the basic plug-in on the wound which initiates either the fear of conflict or the delight of conflict, because some people really enjoy it. So we're asking them to go to that wound. Now we're doing the following. I'm asking them to balance the right and left sides of the cortex of your brain. And now they are going to be using the basic plug-in on the next significant wound, which initiates either fear of conflict or the delight of conflict. We're again asking them to repeat the basic plug-in for the next significant wound. Breathe deeply as you need to. And that's 3 wounds we have balanced for healing. You may want to ask for healing of other wounds after this is over. And you can also do it when you're facing conflict or when you know that there's going to be some sort of disagreement or conflict. You can prepare yourself by asking for your healing team to use the basic plug-in on the wound that gets activated. Now we're asking them to use the Healing Over Lifetimes plug-in for the wounds which have been brought to this lifetime, producing anxiety regarding disagreement or conflict. Now please use the basic plug-in to bring healing to the areas in the nervous system which may have you stuck in fear regarding disagreement or conflict. So we're working on the physiological area now. We ask our healing teams to use the basic plug-in to repair the electrical signature in the brain, resulting in an overactive hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. That's a particular axis within the brain that begins a fear response. Now we ask them to use the basic plug-in to remove, heal, balance, and repair encodements in the adrenal glands, specifically related to the fear of disagreement or conflict. And while they're there, let's ask them to please remove, heal, balance, and repair any other encodements which have that need to be repaired and balanced. And now we ask them to use the shadow removal plug-in specifically related to your response to the anticipation of the beginning or of the disagreement or conflict. Now, since I do remember Amma saying that she was going to give you an opportunity to list some other areas. If there anything else in the prelude to the conflict that you can think of that needs to be balanced for you, would you jot that down? And then we'll do some healing work on it, because you're not the only one. Remember, all of us will probably have that, be able to relate to that in some way. Going to give you a moment to do that. Okay, now we're going to be moving to when you're in the midst of the disagreement or conflict. So we ask your healing team to use the basic plug-in for the healing and balancing of the wound, most affecting the activation of the fight, flight, freeze response. Let's repeat that. Let's ask them to use the basic plug-in to heal and balance the next wound, most affecting the activation of the fight, flight, freeze response. Well, that was a big shift for me. And now let's ask them to please use that one more time. The basic plugin for the healing and balancing of the wound, most affecting the activation of the fight, flight, freeze response. Now, let's ask them to please use the Healing Over Lifetimes plugin to heal the layers over lifetimes, past, present, parallel, and future, related to the activation of the fight, flight, freeze response to disagreement or conflict. Now please use the shadow removal plugin to heal and balance what is happening physiologically in the brain when there is a misinterpretation of sensory information. And sensory information relates to how you interpret what you see, hear, taste, smell, and feel. So this is the shadow removal plugin. Now this will not just be in the brain, they're telling me, although I wrote that down. So they're using that. And they're wanting me to be sure that you realize that when our fight, flight, freeze response is activated, then we have shut off the ability to be able to have a conversation and to explore what is going on. So fight, flight, and freeze is when we feel threatened. And if in a disagreement or in a conflictual situation, you feel threatened, you're going to come out defending yourself. And you may react in ways that you would rather not. And now we're asking the healing teams to please implement the Healing of the Energy Field plugin. And I just want to be sure they know that we're talking about all the chakras from the physical and the crystalline, all of the auras from the physical and the crystalline, any effect on the DNA, on the energy of the DNA, our core star, soul star, Hara line, anything that is part of our energy field. Now again, I'm going to give you a moment to jot down anything that you would like to be healed that's within you that has to do with what happens when you're in the midst of conflict or disagreement. Now we're going to the time when you are recovering from the disagreement or conflict. You know those times you run things through your head of, I wish I had said this, I wish I had done this. How could I have let them do that? How could I have forgotten this? Well, that time. And of course, that time of recovering from the disagreement or conflict could be days or weeks, depending upon what it was that happened. Now we're asking your healing team to heal and balance the following during this recovery process. And we're asking them to do this over time, past, present, and future. Also over dimensions and lifetimes, past, present, parallel, and future. Now to state it in another way, we are asking your healing team to go back to the significant events over time, over dimensions, and over lifetimes. So we're asking your healing team to do their own time travel and interdimensional travel. So first, please implement the basic plug-in to heal any wounds which resulted from the disagreement or conflict over lifetimes, dimensions, universes, wherever. Now we ask them to use the basic plug-in to heal and balance any wounds from the past which were surfaced by the disagreement or conflict. Let's do that again. Let's ask our healing teams to again use the basic plug-in to heal the next layer of wounds which were surfaced by the disagreement or conflict. And we now ask our healing team to use the plug-in to heal the energy field and any structures within it that resulted from the disagreement or conflict. And we now ask them to implement the shadow removal plug-in for any shadows that may have been carried over, lifetimes, dimensions. Okay, now I'm going to adapt a Psych K technique with encodements. We're going to be balancing what are known as belief points. And I'm using the Psych K process to identify the belief points to be balanced. And I will then use encodements to balance those belief points. So first belief point is letting go. And the belief that is associated with it is I joyfully release the past and expect the best now and in the future. I joyfully release the past and expect the best now and in the future. Now your healing team will use the belief plug-in to install that belief for this particular area, which is handling conflict and disagreement. And then they will use the implant removal plug-in on those who have an implant in the area of the belief point. And the belief point in this case, there's one on either side of the navel, about 1.5 inches to 2 inches on either side of the navel. So just allow them to do that. The next belief point is self-worth. And the belief is, I am worthy of the best that love and life has to offer. I am worthy of the best that love and life has to offer. Now, in this case, this particular belief point goes back to another lifetime. So in Psych K and working with belief points, some of the belief points begin after birth, some begin in the womb, and some begin in other lifetimes. And this one goes to other lifetimes. And your healing team will know what lifetime this is for you personally. And they will use the belief plug-in to install the belief, and they will use the implant removal plug-in to remove congested energy from the belief point. Now the self-worth belief points They're right here. I'm not real sure what you can see in here, but right here under this isn't quite the collarbone. I think this is the first rib, but right under here, and there's two little indentations. For those of you who know acupuncture, they're kidney points right here. And they're going to be using the implant removal plug-in to remove the congested energy, and the shadow removal plug-in to deepen this healing. And I'm being sure they know over lifetimes, dimensions, as well as over time itself. And the next belief point, and our final belief point, is transformation. These belief points are a couple of inches below your axilla, your armpit, on the side of your body. And the belief is, I welcome changes in my life. I welcome changes in my life. And again, we ask the healing teams to use the belief plug-in to install the belief and the implant removal plug-in to remove congested energy from each of the belief points. And again, I'm asking that these plug-ins be applied to over lifetimes, over dimensions, and over time. And now we are asking your healing team to go back generationally to heal and balance unhealthy familial patterns of handling disagreement and conflict. Now, this may be going right into your DNA, or it could just be in the energy that is passed down in the ovum and in the sperm. So just allow them to do that. We are now asking your healing team to heal and balance unhealthy monadic patterns. This is from the monad, affecting you and how you handle disagreements and conflicts. So any influences from there. And now we're asking your healing team to focus particularly on any unhealthy soul family patterns affecting you in handling disagreements and conflicts. So your monad is your larger family, and then the soul family, which is within your monad. We're going like to the family of origin in a way. So extended family, family of origin. So the balancing of the soul family patterns. Okay, now this next one is really interesting, although it's come up for me with a number of people in sessions of late. We're asking your soul self. For those who aren't aware, Amma uses soul self instead of the term higher self, to intervene in any disagreements or conflicts between your guides, which may be affecting you. And if their disagreement has affected your energy field, we ask for the healing of your energy field and the use of that particular plug-in to heal the energy field. Now we're moving to balancing the conflict with yourself. The first thing we're asking them to do is to use the basic plug-in on the wound which is most active. It has the greatest energetic imprint upon you, which is causing this conflict with yourself. And now we're asking them to please implement the shadow removal plugin to remove any of the shadows, any of the energies we're not really aware of, which are the result of that particular wound. And now we're asking them to use the plug-in and healing the energy field. If there was any damage by that particular wound, we ask them to please, them being your healing team, to please heal any and all aspects of your energy field. And that includes from the crystal and DNA and their chakras and aura. Now we're going to repeat that again. So for the next wound, which has the next greatest charge, we ask them to use the basic plug-in to heal and balance that wound. Remember, this includes both the soul healing prayer, bringing those parts back to yourself, cleaning, repairing, and healing them and fully integrating them within you, as well as doing the encodement work of removing artificial encodements, of repairing damaged and altered natural encodements, of activating any encodements that are inactive, even replacing and giving you new natural encodements. It's interesting, I had some sadness come up. And now the shadow removal plug-in to continue healing even on a deeper level any of the residuals from that particular wound. And now to please activate the plug-in to heal the energy field over dimensions, over time, over generations, over lifetimes. And now we're going to do it on one more wound. So the next one, it's like the third most active wound, which has an effect upon us when there's disagreement and conflict. Please activate the basic plug-in to bring healing to that. And now the shadow removal plug-in, please. And now please the plug-in to heal our energy field in all of its parts, those that we know of and those that we do not know of. And now let us ask our healing teams to please use the Healing Over Lifetimes plug-in to bring healing to any lifetime, past, present, parallel, or future, from whether it's our monadic family or our soul family, from ourselves, our own soul energy. Anything that is causing a conflict within ourselves, Okay. I want to give you a moment just to jot down something if you want to ask for something else to be addressed. And of course, you can use these same tools and do it on your own without coming out publicly with it. It doesn't matter. And now we're going to use the belief plugin to balance the following beliefs. I have 10 of them. I release judgment of others and myself. I get this real sense that the healing teams love balancing beliefs because it can make so many changes. I release judgment of others and myself. I remain in my heart source during times of disagreement and conflict. I remain in my heart source during times of disagreement and conflict. I remind myself that others are as much love incarnate as I am. I remind myself that others are as much love incarnate as I am. What other people think of me is not my concern. What other people think of me is not my concern. I quickly release the energy of disagreement and conflict. I quickly release the energy of disagreement and conflict. It is okay that others disagree with me. It is okay that others disagree with me. I can have healthy relationships with people who do not agree with me. I can have healthy relationships with people who do not agree with me. I can stand in my truth without having to convince someone that I am right. I can stand in my truth without having to convince someone that I am right. I am fully present, aware, and listening during times of disagreement and conflict. I am fully present, aware, and listening during times of disagreement and conflict. I trust myself to take the appropriate actions. I trust myself to take the appropriate actions. Now take a deep breath. Just allow yourself to come back to your body. Now I'm going to unmute everyone, but if you have noise in your background, if you would please mute yourself. Okay, does anybody have something that they would like to ask to do a healing thing on? Cleo.
Surprise.
No.
I am aware that I have a very karmic relationship with a family member with whom I am often in conflict with. And while I have done my best to heal my part in the karma going back to Atlantis, I don't know what else to do about my son.
Okay, and I'm sure none of us have any of that with anybody else in our families, right? Not at all. I'm thinking of a sibling who killed me in another lifetime. Okay, I'm gonna mute during this so that that's not disturbed, but let me just go in and ask about that. So this is going to be for all of us in anything where we have that karmic relationship. The first thing is I want you to connect with your soul self. Ask your soul self if it is permissible at this time to actually change your part, the encodements, that whole encodement structure that has to do with it, your part within the relationship. And even if you can't hear them, ask them if it is permissible to please change that on your part. And now to please use the basic plugin, and we're going back to the beginning of the karmic relationship. So Cleo, this would take you back to Atlantis. I want you to see, sense, or feel that particular event. And this I'm taking from a particular guided imagery called Healing Over Time. Ask your healing team to please dissolve any and all antagonistic energy or energy bonds and cords which resulted from that lifetime that you and the other person or persons are willing to release. We're now going to do soul healing. We ask that all pieces of all people who are involved, as much as each other allows, that all of those pieces be found and brought back to each individual, that those pieces be cleaned, repaired, and healed, and that they be fully integrated within you. And we now ask for all of the artificial encodements that were constructed that all members are willing to release, be removed, that all energy carrying over lifetimes, that all of us are willing to release. So you may be willing to release more than, say, the other person, that be released. We now ask for the repair of damaged and altered natural encodements, as much as each individual is willing to allow that to happen. We ask for the activation of natural encodements which would engender peace between each of you, as much as that is allowed by each member. We ask that the healing that we have just done go over lifetimes, go over the DNA, go over generations. I'm getting that one of the set of encodements is to be activated is our being able to see the other person truly as love incarnate, as well as ourselves, by the way. Okay.
Thanks.
Do you have any background in your thing? I just unmuted everyone. Just please mute yourself. Cleo, does that bring you where you wanted to be?
Indeed, I am so grateful. I could only take it so far, and it wasn't far enough. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you, because I really felt a lot within me also.
I'm glad.
Anybody else? Teresa?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was included in this, but there are two things that came up that I was wondering. Sometimes I would argue with my body soul or my innate intelligence, as you will, because sometimes I don't find that it reacts the way I would like it to, and that I think that I'm instructing it to. You know, it could be reactions to food in regards to allergies or the way I burn food and all of that. And I don't know, is that included in what we did? And also there was, if there's any conflict with the our soul self and source, like Amma and Abba, I don't want, I just wanted that to be addressed as well.
Okay, that's again not something that only you have, right? None of us ever have any problems with that. And of course, you know, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Being facetious with that. Okay, I'm going to mute everybody again. Asking for the basic plug-in to be implemented in our relationship with our body soul. Now we're going to be asked for your healing team to activate the basic plug-in in any body soul we've had over lifetime. So we're also bringing this together with the healing over lifetimes plug-in. So any of our body souls, we may have a continual history or pattern over lifetimes of having this argument with our body soul. Okay, and then I'm just receiving for healing using the basic plug-in to heal that within us which believes we are at an adversarial relationship with our body soul. And now the basic plug-in to heal the wound that is most active in our feeling of being betrayed by our body soul. And may this be healed over lifetimes, and may the shadow removal also be done in this area. Okay, and now we're going to move to the soul self. Please implement the basic plug-in to heal the wound, that time And I'm getting that this could be at other lifetimes where we doubted, felt betrayed by, became angry with our soul self because our life wasn't going the way that we wanted it to go. And again, the basic plug-in to heal the wound which has us most resistant to the guidance of our soul self. Please activate the healing over lifetimes wound of any lifetime that is being carried over into this lifetime of being resistant to our soul self. You know, when we're resistant to our soul self, we're really fighting with ourselves. Shadow removal plug-in with this also, please. Let's ask for the healing. We're going to use the basic plug-in. You know how you can be sharing something with a group of people and they all kind of join in and escalate it? We're asking for the healing of that from our monadic family. Basic plug-in, shadow removal plug-in, and healing over lifetimes plug-in. In regards to our monadic family and our conflict, resistance to, feeling betrayed by both our body, soul, and our soul self. Now asking that for specifically with our soul family. Okay, good. So Teresa, do you feel that took care of it?
Yeah, that was really good because you mentioned something very important. I didn't even think about it. Like in past life, I'm sure many of us had conflict with our soul self when we didn't know any better, when we lived in darker times, and there was a lot more resistance and lower energy, right? So yeah, for sure, that was really good. Thank you.
Teresa, I doubt if it was many of us. I think the proper word is all of us.
Yeah, I felt that was very deep for me too.
Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Now, if there's anybody else who has something, please speak out because I can't always see you.
Right. Kathy?
Yes, Margaret.
Okay. Okay. Maybe it was addressed, but when my oversoul or parts of me that have been before and they set in defense systems because of the way we handle things in other lifetimes, but it's in conflict with what I want to do as a personality. So like anytime in danger, put on weight or get super sick or sabotage myself so that I don't take certain actions because in some other lifetime or thing it was disastrous. And by the time I realize what's going on, it's already past time, or I have this conflict. It's like it knows better and it's just going to take over. Or even it could be something harmless as it's going to take care of my inner child and let me watch certain programs I didn't get to do when I was a kid, and we've got the time to do it, but I've got other things I want to do. And it's, I don't know if we already addressed that. And I'm not sure that's necessarily my oversoul, but it's portions of me.
I think we addressed it in a general way, but I think we can address it specifically. It reminds me of this argument that I had. It depends upon when you signed up as to whether you got all of the emails regarding what happened, how this came about, but I had an argument with a very dear friend. And of course, my reaction after the argument was to go and stuff myself with cookies and ice cream and you know, that kind of thing, which just got me angrier at myself, you know, when you kind of like conflict with him led to conflict with me and da 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 da. So let's see what comes up. I'll tune in. I'm going to mute everybody again. Somebody's laughing. I mean, it's not one of y'all. It's like one of the, it's one of my healing guides is laughing. So my healing guides are the ones that work with me to do the workshop. And then I have my healing team who works specifically with me. First thing we're going to do is use the basic plugin to bring healing to the primal wound. So this goes back lifetimes. And I'm getting, and even further, whatever that means, the primal wound, which to bring healing to that wound, and it's the wound which had us reacting by doing self-harm actions. Now this could be withdrawal, it could be eating, it could be sex, it could be drugs, it could be whatever. Now it's interesting because I'm having this image of this wound way out there and light just coming straight through to all of us. Shadow removal plugin. I was just told, nope, don't need that. That's happening as we're doing this. Asking for the healing of the primal wound is very significant in this. Now, what they're moving is to, they're not calling it a primal wound, but the major wound in this lifetime, which is activating all of those events in past lifetimes. So it's like when something in this lifetime will activate all this stuff in past lifetimes. So we're asking for the healing of that wound using the basic plugin, and the plug-in to healing over lifetimes. Boy, I just felt a real release in my gut there, which I wasn't even aware was tight. They're telling me, okay, go to the next one. So now to heal the next wound of this lifetime, which activated the others. And they're saying, remember that phrase when you do the basic plug-in yourself with something. Ask for healing of the wound which activated the other energies. And they will use the shadow removal, the healing over lifetimes, and they will also be using the plug-in to repair the energy field. Okay, and this is going to go back, Teresa, to what you had said. I believe it was you. We're asking for the healing of the wound which activated all of the other energies in our conflict with our soul self, oversoul, higher self, whatever it is that you call that energy. You can throw Amma in there. You can throw me in there. You know, it doesn't really matter. It's just whatever. And again, basic plug-in, shadow removal, healing over lifetimes, healing the energy field. And I'm going to ask, please bring healing to that part within us that we are not aware of, which causes us to be in antagonism and conflict and disagreement, feeling betrayed by all those aspects of ourselves, soul self, Alma, that we, entity, that we believe are to guiding us. Ooh, that was big, wasn't it?
Or any enemies outside of
Okay, so now, anything else?
Thank
Um,
you.
Oh, I just wanted to say, Kathy, I just got.
Is this wait a minute, is this something else that we're going to do?
No, not really.
Okay, if you'll hold on with that, Teresa, because we really have run over. Is there anybody else? Okay. Karen, yes.
I guess the one thing that just really jumped out at me is you talked about the importance of belief systems. And gosh, you know, when you're raised Catholic, one thing you say every time you go to Mass is, Lord, I am not worthy.
Yeah, I don't do
And-
that. I quit
You
doing
know,
that ages
and
ago.
that may have created a conflict in me about, you know, am I worthy? Am I, you know, it's just, I didn't realize I had this conflict till you brought that belief system up, and I'm like, whoa, that's a big one for me.
Well, me too.
Cleo also?
Catholic.
Okay, I just had an idea. Now, Teresa, hold on to what you were going to say, okay? I'm going to mute everybody again. Asking our healing teams to use the basic plugin and the Healing Over Lifetimes plugin and the Shadow Removal plugin and the Healing of the Energy Field plugin to heal those things within us that we have received from religious traditions, which have inculcated within us, which have really brought within us a blockage to us knowing that we are worthy simply by the fact that the gift was offered and we were created. I felt something shifting in me. And also ask for the healing of the wound which has resulted in perhaps anger towards those who perpetuated these beliefs. And this is coming from my healing guides and using the basic plugin, Healing Over Lifetimes. Anger at ourselves for believing them. Good, thank you. Great, Karen. Did that kind of handle that?
I really needed that.
I think I did too, and I didn't know it.
Me too. I think anybody that's a Catholic needs that.
Well, you know, that's really, I've been to some of the other services, and I know of some of those from other religions who are even, in a sense, this is a judgment, so I'm just going to say it this way and you accept it, but that when they say you're going to go to hell, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, that's a really drastic, abusive hammer.
Yeah, very controlling.
So thank you.
I thought of the Inquisition and I forgave them.
That's good. Hadn't thought about forgiving them for that. That's something to really work on. Thank you, Karen, for bringing that up. Anybody? Okay, anybody else?
Hi, Kathy. It's Sherry. Can you hear me?
I can. What's up, Sherry?
That was really good, but I think that in general, I just don't trust and believe that I'm worthy of all of this, all of the healing, and I'd really like to try to balance that out.
That's a really good request. Okay, I'm going to mute everybody again. Interesting. What's coming to me? I want you to see yourself with a heart open. Everybody, see yourself with your heart open. We're asking Mother, Father, God, Amma and Abba, to fill us with all the love we have needed but have not received. And I'm asking your healing teams to use the basic plugin. Well, actually, they don't want me to use the plugin. They want me to go through it step by step to remove all artificial encodements which are inhibiting us believing how worthy we are. And this means removing the encodements which have come from other people. And they're telling me right now, please activate the implant removal plugin to remove the feelings, emotions, and energies from other people which have penetrated into us, which are telling us that we are not worthy. Wow, that caused something in me. Ask for the repair of the damaged and altered natural encodements, which are holding in that belief that we are not worthy, which are, in a sense, freezing us into that, like being stuck in mud up to our waist that we can't move from, of unworthiness. And I'm asking them to remove all of the encodements of the mud, of the unworthiness that we're stuck in, to remove those from ourselves, to free us. Yes, to free us from that. And now please activate each and every inactive encodement of worthiness. Please activate each one of those. And if we need to have those natural encodements created within us that we are worthy, please do so. And now we are going to the basic plugin to please heal that wound which is most active in us, which is holding in unworthiness and preventing us from seeing that we are truly worthy of the gifts of life, because we ourselves are a gift of life. And we ask for the shadow removal plugin to be implemented in regards to this same wound to clear even more deeply. And the healing of our energy field from the damage caused to our energy field of those wounds. And let's ask that all that I've said before and all I requested before be done for the next wound, which is most in need of healing. And the next wound, which is most in need of healing. And again, ask for any encodements of unworthiness to be lifted out of us. And I call upon Michael the Archangel and his band to, I'm going to say, fight off, protect, eliminate any forces from outside of ourself which are wanting to hold in that unworthiness. To dissolve those forces. And again, I ask Mother, Father, God to fully fill us with love, that we may know that we are truly connected to Mother, Father, God in love, in joy, and in delight. Okay. Thank you for that request. That was huge.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you. That was incredible.
Wow.
Sherry, did that address what you would like?
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you so
It was
much.
amazing for me too. Thank you for asking.
Me too.
We all thank you.
We thank you.
One last thing. How about conflicting beliefs with other spiritual learnings that we've had in the past that might confuse us as to what is true? We've all been maybe part of a cult or had a different beliefs, spiritual beliefs in different lifetimes. And sometimes you get confused with what is true really. Like, you mean, you know
Well,
what I
I
mean?
think I remember Alma saying that there seems to be different truths in different lifetimes. And I'm just going to ask our healing teams to use everything that we've done and to address that, because we addressed that in another way, maybe not specifically, when we did the other about
Yeah.
when Karen brought up the Lord, I am not worthy thing. So let's just ask again that the specificity which Teresa just brought out, that the basic plug-in, that the healing over lifetimes plug-in, that the shadow removal plug-in, and that the healing of our energy field all be fully activated within us. Okay, this has been almost 2 hours.
Amazing.
And this was very powerful, and thanks Alma for saying that you may ask for other healing at the end of this. And
Thank you, Alma.
that was just a powerful experience. Each one of those that each one of you brought up, what I could feel such release and freedom. And I'm actually having some joy come up that wasn't there before. So thank you to each one of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I am going to get the video up, and I'll get up part of the the handout that I have, but I don't have all this latter part, so I'm going to send that off to get it transcribed so that I can get that up as soon as possible.
Thank you.
So blessings to each one of you. Thank you. It just was a wonderful experience, and,
It was.
and much love to all of you.
It was amazing.
It was. Blessings, blessings, blessings.
Yes,